Hey there makers, in my Christmas crafts tutorial I'm going to show you how I make these easy DIY elf totes. Both a small and a large, and the adorable slippers are stuffed. And check out the straps, they look like the elf suspenders. I can't take it, it's so cute. So if you want to make them too, go ahead and click on the link in the description of this video and you're going to download the two patterns. And you get a large and a small pattern. So this is how you tape them together. There's 6 pages in the small pattern, and in the large pattern there are 9 pages, and you tape them together just like this. So for the purpose of this craft tutorial, I'm going to be putting together the large tote. The same goes for the small, and these are all the pieces that you're going to be needing here. I've gone ahead and taped mine together and cut them out. Now here are the fabrics I'm using. This is a polyester, a cotton canvas, a very vintage knit, and some felt sold by the yard, and then this is your typical craft felt. So I'm going to cut out the tote body on the wrong side of the canvas. You can cut it out however you like, meaning if you want to pin it down and trace it, however it's easiest for you. I'm going to repeat the same process cutting out the second tote body, and this is going to be the front of my tote. So I'm always cutting on the wrong side of the fabric. Next, I'm cutting out the skirt out of my felts. Of course, if you don't have felt by the yard, you could always sew together 2 regular pieces of craft felt. And now for my elf slippers, I'm folding my fabric right sides together. So I cut once and I have 2 elf slippers. And I'm going to repeat that process because I need 4 of these pieces. Next, for the tote straps, I'm going to fold the fabrics right side together and make sure that my fold line is right at the edge of the fold line of the pattern. This way, when I cut it out and open it up, it is a long strap, double the size. For the belt, I decided to make it maroon and I only had craft felt. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut out the 2 extra pieces and then actually sew it together. I'm placing the belt a little lower so it's not too close to the top because I am going to fold down about 1 inch or 1.25 inches when I'm doing the hem of the bag. Now I'm going to pin in place and trace this on my sewing machine close to the edge. I flip the slipper upside down so that the right side of the slipper and the right side of the front of the tote are touching. And I like to use clips for this. Then I'm going to sew 1/4 inch seam allowance, back stitching on the ends. Same thing for this slipper. I'm going to repeat the process for the back of the tote, making sure the right sides of the fabrics are touching. Once I have my skirt placed onto the front of my tote, I'm going to take the back of my tote and make sure the right sides are touching. So right sides together, I'm going to match up all of the sides and pin it all together. But the first thing I like to do as I start pinning or clipping is making sure the seams are meeting right here by the slipper. And then I'll pin the rest of the bag sides together. Next, I'm going to leave the top open and I'm going to sew all the way around using 1/4 inch seam allowance, tracing the shape of this elf tote bag. Back stitching on the ends. Again, the top stays open. And here we are, all sewn together. And now I'm actually going to take my pinking shears and clean up the edges here. If you have a serger, you can actually serge it, or you can even do zigzagging. Now, let's get to the hem. I'm first going to press 1/4 inch hem all the way around, and then after that hem, I'm going to double hem it by pressing 1 inch more. I love using my chopstick here to poke out that very point of the elf slipper. Now I can leave the slippers unstuffed, but I think stuffing them makes it so cute. So I'm fluffing up my stuffing and pressing it in, and I'm gonna make sure it gets into that tiny point first. And then once I have it stuffed, I'm gonna sew right in that seam there, like stitching in the ditch, so that it closes it off, and whatever I stick in my tote won't fall into that slipper. I'm gonna do the same thing for both, and here they are. Here's how I made these straps. What I did was I pressed a double hem of 1/4 of an inch each. Press them, and then I sewed down the center of each, or the edge of each, right? Or on my other sample, I actually used the zigzag to attach the pressing. It's totally up to you. You can even fold it right sides together, sew down the open end, turn it right side out, and make a strap that way. It's your call how you make the straps. I like it this way because they really make strong straps. You can attach these straps 2 ways. This is the typical way here, where your straps are just like a typical tote, or this way they look more like suspenders. One end on one side and the other end to the back. Again, they both work, and this is the typical tote way, but you could also do it the other way that I just showed you. So I'm going to show you here the typical tote way. You're going to actually slip the end. First of all, you're going to make sure this is right sides facing, and then that way you're going to slip it right under that hem, push it in all the way up, and fold it up. Pin in place. And now I'm going to place the back straps the same exact way. Take the end of this strap right here, flip it right under the pressed hem, and pin it in place. Once they're pinned in place, I'm going to sew very close to the edge all the way around the top for a top stitch, and also here at the bottom of this hem all the way around. A top stitch and another top stitch at the bottom, just like I did here. And to make the straps look more like suspenders, you can add some details here. Buttons, bells, anything you want. It's totally your choice. I finally decided to add just the simple, small gold jingle bells on all the points of this tote. Lastly, I've chose these mother of pearl buttons. I really wanted bright white ones, but I just didn't have it in my collection. And I'm just going to sew these on. So with my button thread, I'm going to just start my button sewing right here. And just like that, this cute elf tote is complete. So if you really enjoyed this elf craft, why don't you also check out the other 2 tutorials of mine creating an elf hat and even elf slippers right up here on the screen. Thanks so much for watching.